but Sunstrike's going to be able to finish him off. The last right click coming out from Matumba, man. Without that clip,
charge cancel.
That charge, it stops Firo's spin TP out. He's absolutely going to be able to maybe get more. They get Firo. Looks like he was dancing with some of the backline heroes. It's going to be Forev who's caught. The early Blink Dagger of Mind Control eliminates him 11-5. Liquid have indeed halted any progression when it comes to taking towers. They denied the mid lane tower, all their outer towers. The other ones are still up, and Liquid have resoundingly defeated Bears in team fight after team fight. They're even trying to sneak in Roshan now.
I don't know why Fada felt the need to show up to that fight on his Luna. This Luna is not, like, it's not farmed enough to show up to this fight. All it has is a Helm of the Dominator and an Ogre Club that's going into a Dragonlance. That's not nearly enough to go up against what Liquid has right now. Matumba Man has... actually, he's only sitting on the Dragonlance, but, I mean, just... the hero himself is so high leveled that the Luna can't stand, so like Eclipse wasn't even used because he got lifted immediately, and then Cold Snap afterwards, and then it just all fell apart. I'm surprised that Bears wanted to take a fight after that tower got denied.
I forgot about this third item build. Weaver is going to have the Maelstrom. And I like that actually because it helps push out these waves quite a bit, and it gives you some magic damage to lay into the Luna or high armor, so... yeah, so it looks like a large part of this. Bears may just have to wait until they have the Blink Dagger. Nice Tornado EMP combination. Firo actually just tanks it instead of using his Blade Dance, but they actually tank a Luminate as well. Sunstrike coming in, but they're all healed up by the Healing Ward. So Liquid, as much as they can defend towers, I don't think they can actually take tier 1s just yet.
It's only going to get harder for them, but they're banking on getting a pick-off. Right now, like... I guess only now has Matumba Man decided to go farm for like the first time in 10 minutes. He's been just showing up to all the fights, which is the opposite of what Fada has been doing, so it's coming down to the game style that Liquid was trying to encourage. They have... I mean, it's not even the Spear Breaker that's getting all these kills. It's all 5 heroes of Liquid are like, yeah, we see a fight opening, let's go take it. What the hell is Bears gonna do right now? They don't have a Blink Dagger on their Centaur, but we have a Blink Dagger on our Slardar. How are they gonna initiate? How are they gonna counter-initiate?
Bears may have to take some time to farm up that item. The Blink there, the Dragonlance finished up on Fada. They need some extra stats, just because it seems like the damage is a bit too much from Liquid right now. But this poses another problem because they're also going to get split pushed out to hell. Not only are we going to have this Maelstrom pick up on the Weaver, we also have GH, who we didn't really talk about, but this recall ability is going to allow Miracle to push out certain waves and still be there when they need the 5-man at the right times. Liquid are trying to surprise Bears right now with the 4-man smoke up the top lane after showing Miracle bottom, but Bears are not taking the bait.
Yeah, why bother split pushing if you can just send all 5 of your heroes? They're smoked up, but Liquid's not going to find anything with the smoke, but they should be able to just push this tower basically uncontested, because I don't really know, like, Bears is not in position to rotate now, and they can use a glyph if they want, but I don't really think they're going to go for the defense. They're just going to stall as they take a tier 1 bot in return.
This is a very stark contrast. Look at the Miracles build. He has the 30% experience gain as opposed to the extra Forge Spirit to push, despite having an Exort build. Whereas we saw Firo actually not leveling talents at all and just trying to get the maxed out orbs. I've actually talked to... I've got a friend, Modip, who plays in NA, he plays a lot of Invoker. He said the 30% experience is actually a pretty big buff. If you're talking about levels, you can get your level 20 by the time you would normally be 18, 19 area, and you get your 25 by the time you would be level 20, 21. So it is a significant timing difference, and you're able to get to those, especially that last talent, a lot faster if you choose this 15 round.
Yeah, I've really never understood why so many Invokers have been skipping talents recently, because if you get a Midas, the Midas gets boosted by the experience gained talent. So if you want to level up all your orbs, I don't know why you'd skip out on spending 2 skill points on 2 talents. I mean, it's not the level 10 talent, but I mean, whatever, it's no big deal. Kuro charging bot, though.
Doesn't actually manage to snag anybody there. Bears will retreat pretty freely. They've lost a lot of their outer towers now because Liquid are just gotten so big, but I think Bears, just like we've talked about before, they seem to have a pretty good read on timings and such. They missed their first timing, and they know that too. So they can't fight Liquid. They're not trying to. They're trying to reach some of their mid-game items and go again with their 5-man. later on into the game.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not hitting their timings in terms of objectives because, like we said, early push would be great for Bears, the way that their team is developed. And I mean, they have a mech completed on Darkseer, but the time for, oh man, charge up on Furo, he has no protection.
Yeah, it really doesn't. What is he going to do? Try and spin? He doesn't even have the TP up. They have Kuro's ultimate as well.
No.
The bump back. Oh, okay, that's a little unfortunate, but it doesn't matter. The physical damage is easily going to be able to deal with that one. Miracle does get caught in bottom lane, though. If they can kill him again, it's going to be a little difficult with the tornado, but they might just be able to do it. He throws out the tornado immediately, but they get the telekinesis off first with the eclipse over the top. They do manage to kill him. So Bears are very happily going to make that exchange. They took an Aegis and a very high experience and high net worth hero down in return.
It was split amongst 5 dire heroes, so not as big of a boost as it would have been if it was just one pickoff. Oh man, GH, you need to be careful here.
Trying to push out aggressively, but is going to be caught.
Oh, and that was a stolen Sunstrike.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Miracle's dead. What the hell? Adam stole
I mean, I know
Sunstrike
he's
earlier.
good, but he's not that good.
Sunstrike from the dead.
All right, well, they're getting some pickoffs, and like you said, it's on high experience targets. This Keeper of the Light is getting really close to his ag, or at least he was. I think he's about like 2,000 gold away, but he's been getting a lot of levels as well. And so all these pickoffs are very important because unfortunately, it's not Juggernaut participating in them, but Luna is still a very important core, and she's working on a Manta style right now, which means that we haven't seen the extent of Bear's pushing power yet, but it is substantial.
I do feel like we see the best of Bears when they're behind. It just seems to be this repetitive thing where they do know how to play when they're dramatically behind. They've lost the early game. Of course, you would rather not lose the early game in the first place, but it's kind of almost like the opposite of Cloud9, who were known for taking early game advantages with their 5-man and then stalling out. Bears seem to know how to take disadvantages, play conservatively, find the right kind of pickoffs to turn the game back into their favor again.
Yeah, I think one of the most impressive thing about Bears is that they always they're very adaptive. Like, depending on how the game is going, not only in terms of play style, but the way that they'll itemize, it's all up for grabs. They don't walk into a game being like, this is the way it's going to go, and we're going to keep bashing our head against the wall until it finally works out. Tornado.
Miracle, vacuum back with the Stampede. They don't have counter vision. No, Bears! You've missed out on a huge kill. They could have gotten Miracle again. They're not going to find him. Oh, they drop a ward. Adam's going to be bumped back by Kuro ultimate, and that will be his death. Actually does hit the Sunstrike, so Kuro's a little bit low. That's Zirn, though. Miracle's trying to catch more with the Tornado. Bears do manage to dodge it and sit back. So as much as Bears, we praise them. Hey, they know how to play conservatively. They do realize some of these timings and such. Let's not forget that Liquid are very far ahead. Just because they got a pick off and took away an Aegis does not mean they're anywhere close to being able to attain control of this game again. And Liquid also know how to adapt, right? They know, okay, this team's playing conservatively and stuff, and they will occasionally push out for these picks. Let's go ahead and 5-man a bit more and secure our 10,000 gold lead and 10,000 experience. If Bears want to try and take that away from us, they're going to have to meet us 5v5.
And now maybe Liquid's a little bit more scared. Yapzor has completed his Blink Dagger on Centaur, and so what was the original issue of a severe lack of initiation on Bears' part has been somewhat mitigated. They would have really liked to use that on the Invoker kill top after Rubik found out, but unfortunately Stampede was used earlier, and just a Blink Dagger will not be enough to bring a Centaur into position. But I mean, he's working on his Ag next item, and that's going to be the real important item, assuming that Centaur is allowed to finish it.
Yeah, we'll see if he can, though. That item build that we talked about on Forev, he does go for just that. The mech Arcane Boots doesn't finish off the Greaves, probably because they were behind and they needed that Blink Dagger.
Right.
But they do reach that Blink Dagger timing around the same. They do have this opportunity. They do have some potential for really good team fight initiation if they can get the right Vacuum Stomp turned into the Eclipse. That can just straight up, those 3 abilities can win them the fight and get them multiple kills. But it doesn't seem like Liquid is giving them any, at least too much quarter for those opportunities. They're actually just split pushing right now, staying relatively grouped up, but pushing out the lanes that Bears are not in. Does mean Bears will get a tier 1 tower, traded for the tier 1 at bottom lane.
Yeah, see, even Invoker or Keeper, they're not confident in going for counter pushes anymore. At least Keeper won't be until he gets his ag completed, which should be coming now. So he has his ag now. So now he's just fine. Now he's perfectly okay with going for pushes, which I hope they defend this top tier 2 instead of trading, because I think a trade is in Bears' favor, not Liquid's favor, but actually Bears back off.
Yeah, maybe not feeling comfortable with potentially Liquid fighting them at that tier 2. I don't think they had a whole lot of vision of what Liquid were up to, just the Weaver pushing bottom. They see him now, thanks to this ward, as Liquid do start kill that shrine behind them if they push for tier 2. And that'd be a very dangerous fighting style, right? Liquid, especially with the Weaver, want to be able to make more chaotic team fights, while Bears need the clumped up, very uniform, hey, there's 3 heroes grouped up here, we hit the vacuum and host on.
GH recalling in Miracle. They have a bunch of vision, and Bears has no vision, but they know that there's a lot to be scared of.
Yeah, they don't seem to feel comfortable. I don't either, but they're going to try for it. They start streaming forward. They have a surge out. Attempted vacuum on the side. He had the right idea, but he didn't know exactly where Miracle was. They try and hit the stomp. They do hit it onto Miracle, but he does have that fresh up. Lincoln blocks a lot of the damage. Matumba Man's tearing Adam apart, and Mind Control's 1v1ing for Red pretty easily. It's all up to Firo now to try and get as much damage onto Miracle, but they can't do it. They're stuck inside the trees. Firo's going to have to TP out. Cold Snap stops him. He's done for, and Fada, he's left against 5 heroes all by himself. Fada has no chance in hell of getting out of here. A big fight for Bears, or excuse me, a big fight for Liquid as they take on all 5 man of Bears on a tier 2, which means they can go straight for the high ground push.
Okay, let's go inside the mind of a bear. You have a pretty underfarmed Juggernaut, basically leading a smoke that he wasn't even smoked under. The tower is already dead, so you don't even have tower damage to help you out. I guess Eclipse can somewhat mitigate the ag coddle, but not really. The Centaur didn't get a good blink. What was the best case scenario for Bears?
I think they're just desperate. I think they knew, they at least had the right idea that there were heroes aside here, and they're hoping they would just get the right kind of vacuum stomp, turn the fight. The telekinesis not going to do a whole lot there. Firo tries to get the Omni Slash, but now going to be countered. It's done for. Melee racks also going to fall here. Liquid have taken 2 lanes of racks by 27.5 minutes.
It's daytime. Even if you're this desperate, you can't be just, like, foolish about it. And, I mean, I've never seen Deafening Blast take off that much damage from a Juggernaut, just the spell itself. But Miracle is level 22 with this experience gain thing. It's gone for, like, a pure aggression build, aside from the Lincolns, but the Blink Dagger BOTs, he's not concerned about stats, he's just concerned about making room for Matumba Man. And the other thing about that tier 2 bot is that they knew that Matumba Man had a freshly completed BKB as well, so even if they do manage to get initiation, they have to deal with a time lapse and a BKB. So I don't know why they just didn't pull that for high ground, but I guess I can't keep harping on it as Roche goes down.
That'll be an Aegis for Matumba Man, who's got the completed Mjolnir alongside that BKB. Fishing Sunstrikes, not sure where it landed, but Adam does have the Shikuchi potential for initiation. Matumba Man's actually almost entirely out of mana, has enough for a time lapse. Nice vacuum wall combination though. That's going to be big with the hoof stomp. They're going to be able to take out 2 almost immediately. Maybe Bears can actually win this fight. Matumba Man without mana and without a time lapse.
He has BKB though.
Does have BKB for this next engagement, so they might just be able to fight this out if Miracle hits the right kind of combinations. First Tornado and EMP is not too much of a hit, but it will separate Firo enough for them to be able to right-click him down. Fada pursues out for GH, does pun and Manta off that one. Oh, nice stun on the Matumba Man. Maybe you can finish him off. They need a little bit more, but he gets away. Fada, he does man up against GH God, but Miracle is too much for him to handle. They do pick up, thanks to the Bouncing Glaives, the kill on GH, but the other kill that they really wanted, Matsu, he does manage to get away.
Man, that is super impressive. I thought that Bears was basically just like, whatever, man, let's just get this game over with. Let's take a fight outside of our towers. But, I mean, it makes sense. If you fight at your high ground, you're basically saying, like, yeah, we're going to lose the game. We're just stalling. Miracle finds the Centaur, but Centaur blinks out. So I am surprised that Liquid was not able to withstand that. I mean, really the first casualties were the Slardar Spearbreaker. They were caught out of position, got vacuum walled, and then just got blown up. but taking down the Aegis, taking out another BKB charge of the Weaver, I mean, this is important stuff. I don't think it'll be enough, but every little bit helps.
Invoker rapidly closing in on that level 25. Make it that last stretch. Has the Octarine core as well, so the damage is coming out over and over again. I'm still, I'm Octarine core with the tornado reduction, that buff that it received.
Low.
Maybe he'll go for it here. Burns out Yapzor. All of his mana is gone. Going to be charged up by Kuro. Has the ultimate ready to go. Nice vacuum interception there, but it's not going to be enough to save Yapzor, unfortunately. They need that progression into the Aghanim Scepter. Bears hope to make a desperate comeback here, but it just seems to never happen. Liquid are closing in on taking that last Rax.
One step forward, 2 steps back. Thankfully, they get a leak onto Fada, but he purges it off. Yeah, I mean, like, Fada has not been able to participate in a majority of this game. He got that Eclipse off to finish off the Slardar and the Spearbreaker after that vac wall, but that was just 2 targets, and it wasn't any of the cores. And even if it was a core, Matumba Man has still an 8-second BKB, which he might just use now.
Telekinesis, but they needed more follow-up, more stunts to be able to come out. BKBs all around from Liquid, so they just ignoring all this Eclipse. Fada is left with just physical damage, and that'll never be enough. So Liquid are able to take game number 1 against Bears pretty handedly, too. I have to say, the Weaver, Slardar did manage, like Weaver especially, getting aggressive early, did a lot for them. I think that Bears just, and it was that mid lane defense. I think that actually just broke Bears in many ways. It just started them off in such